So when it comes to new games for old consoles, Nintendo always seems to take the cake in this regard. You always hear about new projects for the NES and the Super Nintendo, and maybe that's because they're popular systems. You know, everyone always seems to still talk about them. But one company that doesn't seem to get as much love is Sega. And honestly, I don't really see that many new Sega projects out there. The Master System was awesome, the Genesis, the Saturn, the Dreamcast, the Game Gear. All phenomenal pieces of hardware, but you rarely hear about new projects for these pieces of hardware, and maybe because Nintendo just has that brand recognition that Sega has sort of lost over time. So a company called the BitStation reached out to me and asked me if I was interested in checking out some new Dreamcast products. Now what the BitStation is they are an accumulation of different developers who just want their games on a marketplace, and the BitStation creates this marketplace for them. So instead of having to go to all these different websites, you can go to one place and get the latest new releases in new games for old consoles, and they specialize in Dreamcast stuff. Aside from Pierre Solar, which also released on the Wii U, I was not familiar with Dreamcast stuff, which is unfortunate. So they said, hey, do you want to check out some games? And I was like, yeah, I do. So they sent me 3 Dreamcast games, new releases, to check out on the channel and to share with you guys. So today we're going to look at 2 puzzle games and a JRPG. We have iRides, Master of the Blocks, Xia and the Goddess of Magic, which is the RPG, and Wind and Water Puzzle Battles for the Dreamcast. So are these games worth checking out? Should you pick up these games? Well, let's find out what they're all about. So before we get into the gameplay of these games, I did just want to show you guys the artwork and the cases. All of these games come with instruction manuals. They are not on crappy CDR discs. These are actual Dreamcast discs. And all of these games actually have a little something with the VMU. There's a display on the VMU, which is really cool and really shows the quality of these titles. So without any further ado, let's check out what these games are all about.
iRides is a game developed by a company called Mad Pete. And PSP fans will notice right off the bat that this game takes a lot of inspiration from the highly acclaimed puzzle game Lumines. The game originally started off as a Lumines clone for the Dreamcast, before coming into its own puzzle game. iRides uses a simplistic puzzle style that anyone can jump into. Puzzle blocks fall, and you must match 2x2 sections of puzzles within the same color to clear them. When you match a section, you are also given a little bit of extra time to match other sections to get a combo, which will increase your overall score in the game. The game features clean visuals and a really funky soundtrack that I pretty much enjoyed. There's a campaign mode, a free mode, and also online leaderboards. The way that the online leaderboards works is that the game will generate a score for you that is put into an online leaderboard website to see where you stack up against the rest of the competition. iRides is a pretty simplistic but addictive game that can get pretty hectic, and fans of the puzzle genre will probably have a good time with this title. Xia and the Goddess of Magic is a brand new JRPG for the Dreamcast, and something that retro fans will probably want to check out. Xia and the Goddess of Magic tells the tale of a girl named Xia, who has a large interest in magic even though the other children in the village that she lives in do not. After an old wise man comes to her family's home and tells them more about magic that is within the land, Xia decides to set out on her own journey and find the remaining books of magic. The game uses a 16-bit sprite style with a lot of color, and it looks really well done. The musical score is very enjoyable too, with a strong fantasy element to it. The real interesting and unique part of the game, however, is the gameplay. Instead of traditional attacks and the usual buy a sword, press an attack button in a menu that is used in many JRPG games, Xia and the Goddess of Magic uses magic books that Xia discovers as a way of attacking or defending or even curing herself. In order to do an attack, you simply don't use a menu, but instead you input a sequence of button commands that you learn by gathering these books throughout the land. It's a unique concept, and I kinda like it, as it puts the pressure on you to remember certain commands to use at certain times, because if you mess up, you do a default weak attack that does minimal damage. I haven't finished Xia and the Goddess of Magic, but from what I played, it's a solid JRPG title that fans of the genre will probably enjoy. Wind and Water Puzzle Battles is a game I didn't expect to fall in love with, but I definitely did. The game just oozes quality, style, and high presentation. Wind and Water Puzzle Battles is obviously a puzzle game in which the screen is full of different colored elements. By matching these different colors in a diamond shape, you clear a section of the screen, and then are presented with more blocks being dropped down. The bottom of the screen will start to fill up over time with dead blocks, forcing the player to quickly form these diamonds and create combos in order to keep progressing. The Dreamcast controller works great with this game, and the controls are really tight and precise. The game offers a lengthy tongue-in-cheek story mode, high score modes, and even local co-op for intense puzzle action. The game looks amazing too, and looks and plays and sounds like a Dreamcast title that would have came out in the system's heyday. I really can't say enough positive things about Wind and Water Puzzle Battles, as it's easily one of the most exciting and fun Dreamcast games I've probably ever played.
So you're probably thinking to yourself, what I think about these three games and are they worth picking up? iRide's Master of the Blocks is a bit of a simplistic game, but I did enjoy it. I did like the fact that you could generate an online code, which would put you into a leaderboard system, and that's cool. I like leaderboards in puzzle games because it kind of shows you where you stand, and I did enjoy the music in the game. Obviously, I didn't finish Xia and the Goddess of Magic because it's a JRPG. It's a long game and I'm still playing it, but I did enjoy how the gameplay was pretty unique in the fact that you would have to press buttons in order to do an attack as opposed to just picking it from a random menu. So that was pretty cool, and I did enjoy the music in the game, and the graphics were pretty nice and clean as well. Wind and Water Puzzle Battles. This game, if you own a Dreamcast, you need to buy it. I don't care if you don't like puzzle games or you're not a huge fan of puzzle games. This game is awesome. This game, if it would have released in the Dreamcast heyday, I think would have been a success. Like, it's just so much polish. The story mode is funny. The gameplay is tight. The music is amazing. The colors are just vibrant. And there's just so much multiplayer. Like, it's just such a good game, and it's such a fun puzzle game that I think it would have done really well during the Dreamcast heyday. So if you pick out any of the three games, this needs to be the game that you pick out because it is top notch. Just amazing, amazing game. I would like to thank the BitStation for sending me these games to check out, and make sure you guys check out their website. They've got projects for all sorts of systems, but they do specialize in a lot of Dreamcast stuff, and there are a ton more Dreamcast games to check out, some of which I will be checking out on my own. And I'd like to thank you guys for checking out this video and your constant support, because without your support, I wouldn't get these opportunities to check out new games for the Dreamcast, so thank you guys so much. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think about these three titles in the comments section down below. Be sure to like the video, and check out other stuff on the channel. If you really like my face, check out my Patreon, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll check you guys next time. Later.